future. You know, many people say this crisis is over, happy days are here again and all this. Yet, how many people think that we're going back to normal, that things will be fine again? How many think that things could get much worse for many people? How many people think there could be a major disaster up ahead? Yeah. So the question here is this, you know, is how do you prepare for it and all this? So we'll leave it to the angel of death, Mike Maloney here. As far as, you know, because gold and silver are kind of indicative of the concerns in the marketplace, you know, the distrust of fiat money, you know, printed money. But that's why gold and silver is kind of the canary in the mine, but they're also the bellwether of the emotions, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm preparing by getting fully diversified. I buy both gold and silver. I also started a business. I sell gold and silver. Yeah. And then I wrote the best-selling book on gold and silver, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver.
So when the economy crashes and as we predict, the crowds come rushing in to buy gold and silver, will you be happy or sad?
I will be celebrating. In every tragedy, there's an opportunity.
Right.
And now is the time to try and find what the opportunities are and seize them. Now is the time to figure out what is going on in the planet and look at why this decade is going to be completely unlike anything that we have ever experienced.
Oh, this history.
Yeah.
World history is changing. Right?
Yes, very rapidly.
But this has happened before in history, right? But never on a global scale. Yeah, small scale.
It's never been global.
It's never been global like this.
Yeah.
So
this is going to magnify it 1,000 times. So it's history repeating times 1,000. Yeah.
There's two possible extreme or financial concerns. We could either go into a depression, or we go to hyperinflation,
which is also a depression, hyperinflation.
Right, the same as
yeah.
But we could also go to war, which is one way to solve. People think we solve the problem. But also, what's happening is, you know, in Phoenix, Arizona, here they just announced that they're laying off policemen because the states don't have any more money. At the same time, they're cutting off unemployment benefits. Now, let's add 1 + 1 together. What does that spell? Crap. Buy a gun. You know, I mean, you gotta remember this. Remember this. The police cannot prevent a crime. Only you can do that. They can only investigate it after you're dead. So that's one of the reasons I'm preparing. Is, you know, I'm still a Marine in my brain. I like guns, and the way I'm preparing for it is if I'm prepared for the worst, there's a good chance it won't happen. That's just really my philosophy, as sick as it may sound to some people. So come to my house, and I'm armed and dangerous, and I'll welcome you.
I don't see it. But it's not sick to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, preparing for the worst. People think we're very negative, you know, and we're very pessimistic. Well, we're kind of pessimistic, saying we do think it's going to get worse, but we don't know for sure at this point. But by preparing for the worst, if it happens, we're prepared. If it doesn't happen, we're smarter.
Exactly. Right? What's the downside? I mean, for me, I don't have the gun, so I have to come to Robert for the guns. I have the food storage, you know, and I look at, from a food storage standpoint, I look at, well, you know, what happens if things don't go bad? Well, I still have the food storage. I'm still prepared, and I don't have to worry, can I feed my family in case, you know, business goes under or some other natural disaster and I can't go to the grocery store and get food.
I have both guns and food.
I'm going to your house. Yeah, the difference is that Robert enjoys the moment.
Andy, tell him the insurance thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Tom mentioned he has food. I have a year's supply of food for my family, blankets, diapers, everything I need. I can live for a year. And some people will, you know, kind of poo-poo that and say, well, isn't that a big waste of food? And we rotate as best we can. But I'll tell you another thing is it's kind of like buying insurance. If you bought home insurance and your home didn't burn to the ground, would you be disappointed? Well, I'm not going to buy insurance because I'll never use it. Well, no, it's like insurance. We hope we never have to use it. I hope I don't have to use it. But you and I have talked about that a lot, Mike.
Yeah. I now have a stock of food also, and, you know, I don't like guns, but I now own a shotgun and a 9mm, and
I hope you practice how to use that.
Yes, I do. Nobody should own a gun without learning how to shoot.
Yes.
I think in today's market you have to take a defensive strategy and not know what's going to happen. You know, the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl, and they won it by defense. And that's how you have to do it in today's market. You know, credit is tightening throughout the world. It's not just in the U.S. Now China's tightening. Credit card reform is not just in the U.S. and now it's happening in Europe. And then it's happening in South America. So those are things that we have to be prepared for. With the credit tightening around the world, that means it's going to take a long period of time for us to come out of the recession, and maybe we're in a depression.
Right. Kim and I personally we have food, we have water, we have guns.
We have gold and silver,
and cash, because we don't know which way it's going to go. The point here is this, you know, a few years ago, the whole credit card system nearly shut down. Mm-hmm. And when that shuts down, the credit card system shuts down, the world shuts down. You know, forget about oil, forget about gasoline, credit cards stop. You're going to see a run for the supermarkets, and the supermarkets have less than 3 days supply. If that whole thing stops, you know, I mean, I have a hard enough time checking out right now. Can you imagine if you got 9 million other guys trying to check out at the same time? So I just want to avoid the rush if in case it happens.
Well, and credit card lines of credit are shutting down because 2 years ago, there was $5 trillion of credit card lines available. Now it's been cut down to $2.3 trillion. As the banks continue to struggle, the banks continue to tighten the lending. Where do they go? They go in the big area of unsecured debt, and they're going to continue to tighten down the credit cards.
What do you say from the accountant side of it?
Oh wow! Well, here's something you can absolutely be sure of. Okay, you want to know what's going to happen in the future. If we're in a depression or if we have hyperinflation, either way, we're going to have increases in taxes. Because what happens if you go into a depression, what happens is that you have less and less economic growth, and that means that you have less and less money to pay the current taxes, and so they have to raise the tax rates to offset that. On the other hand, the way all countries are structured in their tax systems, if your income goes up, which it does in a hyperinflation standpoint, your actual income goes up high, you get into a higher tax bracket within your country. So either way, what I know for sure is that your tax rate is going up in a depression or in the inflation period.
Back to Robert's comment about the police officers. I mean, they're laying off police officers because they don't have enough money. Hence, they got to raise taxes to offset those
and they are raising
incomes.
taxes now. They've just put a new food tax at the grocery stores. You're now going to get taxed on food because they want to keep a few more police officers working.
But you know
So
what
that is
pays for
happening.
those, the police and fire is real estate tax.
Right, and real estate taxes will have to go up on homeowners.
Right.
So much for your house being an asset.
When the bank owns real estate, they don't pay the tax.
Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Centers nearby, and upon checking out, the gal asked me what I was doing with so much food, and I said, there's an economic collapse coming to this country. Plan now. And she laughed. She actually thought that was funny. Here's the point. There are people out there that we can't help and don't want to help themselves. But as for the rest of us, buy storable food now. It remains cheap at this very moment in time, despite the meteoric rise in price of wheat, up 54% since June. Sugar's up 114%, and corn is up 79%, along with most other commodities, including silver. Buy food now for storage. This instant. Go tonight, tomorrow. Buy food in any amount you are able to buy it. Just as silver was cheap 1 year ago at $14.32 an ounce, food is cheap today compared to what it will cost 1 year hence, and perhaps much, much.
Are you ready? Do you have what it takes to not only survive hard times, but also thrive in them? In times like these, the most valuable currency we have is food and food reserves. It is more precious than gold, oil, and cash. Food is our greatest dependency, because when you're hungry, nothing else matters. You know it, and I know it. You can't control earthquakes, floods, or the real estate meltdown. But if you have food, you have personal solutions to how these things affect you. Register right here, right now. and order your 6 free meals so you can truly discover what the currency of the future and your freedom taste like.
Food and drink are the most important 2 things we rely on every single day. GoFoods Global has dozens of quick preparation meals for people on the go. That's right, food you can use every day. It tastes fantastic and prepares in minutes. Southwestern tortilla soup, Maui chicken with ginger rice, and even a creamy Tuscan pasta with sun-dried tomatoes are just a few of the mouth-watering entrees you and your family can enjoy the very day you receive your GoFoods order. Our products are also made with an extended shelf life, so you never have to worry about expiration dates. When it's time to quench your thirst, grab a bottle of water, rip and tip one of our amazing stick-pack beverages, and feel your mouth come alive. Extraordinary flavors, on-the-go convenience, and ease of use makes GoFoods the industry leader for the 21st century. GoFoods, the ultimate do-anything, go-anywhere food. Serve it, save it, share it, and feed your freedom today with GoFoods.